Hi everyone, it's Joe from Britical Saiyans here, and today we're going to be dicing up the pan deck for you. So, start off with effect. So, auto once per turn. When you play a battle card, you may choose. Well, you choose that card. It gains 5 power for the turn, and then if its power is 20,000 or more, so even when you put the 5 on, you draw a card. And to awaken, it's untapping 2 of your energy into pan ready to fight. So the ability is the same as the other side, so auto once per turn. When you play a battle card, give it 5k. If it's on 20 or more, draw. And then she has the auto of when she attacks, you can draw a card. So gives you a chance to draw 2 cards off her, depending on what you play. So starting with the extra cards, we have 4 copies of Unending Awakening. So this is a 1-drop counter attack. Negate the attack, then choose up to 1 of your red Saiyan leader cards. It gains 5 power for the duration of turn. So obviously that can be quite handy because you give your lead some extra power. Possibly at the start of your opponent's mass attack. So, and there's also 4 copies of Grand Tour Spaceship. So this is a active main. You look at the top 7 cards from your deck, choose 1 Son Goku GT, Trunks GT, Pan or Giru with 15k or less power, and then play it and then shuffle. So just a bit of deck binning, really, quite handy because you get some cards up for free. So moving on to the battle cards, we have 4 copies of Pint-Sized Warrior Son Goku. So 1 drop, obviously. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards from your deck, choose up to 1 red Goku GT, add it to your hand and shuffle. So that's our main bit of search engine for the deck. There's also 4 copies of Rushing Warrior Pan. So Pan is quite useful in this deck because it's all about gaining power. She has the auto of when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your red leader cards or battle cards. That gains 5 power for the duration of turn. And other auto is when you combo with this card from the battle area, draw a card. So obviously you play it in your turn, you give the power to something that you want to do some damage, and then during your opponent's turn you can combo it, or you can combo it during your turn. So very versatile. And finally we have 2 copies of Saiyan Kaba. So Kaba's a bit of a classic. When this card attacks, you may choose 1 card from your life at your hand. If you do so, this gains 10,000 and double strike. Purely in there as a self-awakening engine. Should probably put up a bit, but it's not entirely necessary for the deck. And this is a deck that's very difficult to work around because of all the stuff that you kind of need for it. So, moving on to 2 drops, we have 4 copies of Dependable Robot Giru. So it's a block with 5k power, but it has a permanent effect of if Pan is in your battle leader area, you can play this card without paying its energy cost. So obviously since we have the Pan leader, he's just a free blocker, which is very useful. We also have 4 copies of Handy Giru. So Handy Giru is our new red super combo, but he works just like the old ones. So if your lead card is red and your life is at 4 or less, draw a card, gain 10,000 for the duration. So unlike every other one that's came out in set 3, Giru's no different, just kept it as it was. Next we have 3 copies of Quick Rush Trunks. So this is just a 15k crit. Mostly there is a tie with something else in the deck. And finally we have 4 copies of Shocking Future Son Goku. So he has 10k power, and he has a combo power 5 with a pay cost of 1, but that's because of his ability. So at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, choose up to 1 Son Goku GT with 5,000 or less power from your deck out to your hand and shuffle. So essentially you can play them in combination with this, and say you play Pint-Sized Warrior, you find Shocking Future, you play Shocking Future, find another Pint-Size, and you can just hop back and forth and deck fin. That's the main reason I run him, just so I can find a Pint-Sized Warrior if I haven't been able to play it already. And then later on he's just fodder. So moving on to the free drops, we have 1 copy of Combination Attack Pan. So she's a promotional card, which is why we've only got 1 at the moment. So she has permanent skill of, if a Goku GT or Trunks GT with 25 or more power is in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy costs. So again, because it's a power ramp deck, it's very useful. And she has the active main of once per turn, you can choose up to 1 Goku GT or Trunks GT and give it 5 power for the duration of the turn. So again, like, this is just really useful for the deck. I would increase the number if I could, just because I'm relying on getting a lot of power on my cards, and not only does she come out if I have a lot of power on them, but she can just give power. So very useful. There is also 4 copies of Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku. So it's got 15k in crit, and the permanent skill of, when your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy cost of this card in your battle area by 2. So this is really good for evolutions that require a certain energy cost, because you bring him up by 2 after you've awakened basically. And it's like, cool, play it on top of this free drop. And finally we have 1 copy of Fearless Pan. So Fearless Pan is a very useful card. It's a blocker of barrier, and the auto skill of, when you play this card, choose all of your other red leader and battle cards. They gain 5,000 and double strike for the turn. So making everything a double striker is really useful. Turn your 15s into 20s, your 20s into 25s, etc. So could be good for a very offensive turn, or if you just want a little bit of power on some cards, you play her out and then you can use her as a blocker. So moving on to the 4 drops, we have 3 copies of Reliable Trunks. So he's a 4 drop 20k, evolve for 2 red onto a GT Trunks. He has crit, just like Quick Rush. And the auto of, when you play this card, draw a card, then choose one of your red leader or battle cards. It gains 5 power for the duration of the turn. So obviously in combination with something like our leader, if he's the first battle card we play, they can give each other 5 power and you get to draw 2 cards. Otherwise it's just good for that little bit of power and draw. In the 5 drops we have 3 copies of Raging Fist Super Saiyan 2 Son Goku. So he has 20k power. He evolves for 4 energy onto a GT Goku. He has double strike. When the card evolves into this, draw 2 cards. So again, works well with our leader if he's the first one we play, because he gives, Pan can give him 5k, so it becomes a 25 double striker, and we draw 3 cards because both their ult abilities would let you draw. And then he becomes handy for the next card along, which is our 6 drop at 4 copies Broken Limit Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. So, EX Evolve by paying 1 red, place cards from your hand to drop, and you choose a red Son Goku GT with an energy cost of 4 or more, and play this card on top of it. So obviously we've got the 5 drop and the 3 drop if our life is low enough. And here's the auto skill: when one of your cards attacks, this gains 5 power for the duration of the turn. Then if this card's power is 40,000 or more, it gains triple strike for the end of turn. So even if he's not your first attack, you just swing whatever, he'll just keep gaining 5. When he attacks, he gains 5. So you can just swing 2 other things, even if you know they're not going to hit anything. If it's like just a 1 drop of 5 power, you just swing it just so he gains. Or you just play other cards that give him power, and then go in for 40 triple strike on top of that combo, so it could be end game. And finally, we have a singular copy of Hyper Evolution Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. So he's an EX Evolve with 1 red, place 2 cards from your hand to drop, choose a red GT Goku with an energy cost of 6 or more, so this guy, and place him on top. So he's the SCR of the Cross World, so he's ultimate, which means you can only play 1 copy. Which is a shame, I wouldn't mind playing 2 just so I can charge 1 if anything. Here's the auto skill: when this card attacks, it gains 5 power for the duration of turn. Then if this card's power is 60 or more, it deals 1 damage to your opponent's life. So obviously, as I've shown, the basis of the deck is just gain power, gain power, gain power, and like if you can pump this guy up high enough, he's just going to deal damage before anything else. And he has the active main of place 2 red cards from your hand to the drop area, switch him back to active. So say you've managed to get him up to 60,000, you go swing, they lose a card, he goes to 65, play drop 2, stand back up, swing again, he goes to 70, they take another life. It could be end game, and obviously looking so nice, how could you not play it? So on that, that is our pan deck profile. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.